Hey, welcome back. So I'm starting a brand new series where I solve every problem in the Zerotrac list of competitive Leetcode problems, or at least as many as I can. We're going to start with the simplest problems and work our way through them, starting with the lowest in the ELO ratings. And we're going to use our understanding of built-in functions and problem-solving strategies in order to build up towards the harder problems. I think that the answer to getting good at a lot of these problems is a matter of exposure, getting the right evidence on what works, and consistent practice. We're going to be starting with problem 1, and in order to get the most out of our starting, we're going to solve the problem in 3 separate ways. Okay, so what is the problem? Well, our goal is to defang an IP address, which is a term used in cybersecurity to describe modifying an IP address so that it cannot be used by attackers. What we basically need to do is we need to modify the IP string so that anytime a dot character appears, it's going to be replaced by brackets surrounding the dot. Perhaps the most direct way to solve this problem is with a built-in method called .replace. This method replaces all occurrences of a given substring with another substring and can optionally replace a number of occurrences so that not all are replaced. But in our case, we do want to replace everything, and what we'll do is we'll replace the dot with a bracket dot. Another way that we could solve this problem is with a list join. The basic idea is that instead of building our answer as a string, we could instead first build it as a list, and whenever we come across the dot in our string, we could append our list with the bracket dot instead. Then we can use the dot join method to join all the elements of our list as a string. If we don't specify any delimiter, then the contents of our list are concatenated as is. The last way that we may solve our problem is with the built-in split method. This method will split a string into a list, and in our case, our delimiter will be a dot. Then we can apply a join as before, except this time we will join using the bracket dot as our delimiter, achieving the desired result. So let's code these solutions. Our first solution is a one-liner. We simply return the string after we call the dot replace method on it, replacing the dot with the bracket dot. Our next solution has a few more steps. First, we will initialize an answer list. Then, for each character in the address, we will check if the character has a dot, and if it does, we will instead append a bracket dot. Otherwise, we will append the character as is. At the end, we will return a join of the list delimited by an empty string. This is a common technique to turn a list into a string with no mods. Our last solution is another one-liner. We will return the string split into a list delimited by a dot and joined by a bracket dot. In all 3 of these algorithms, the time complexity is O of n, since we will need to traverse through a string of size n at most twice. Also, the space complexity for all 3 algorithms is also O of n, because either we will store a string or we will store a list of at most size n. We can actually reduce the space complexity by modifying the string in place, but I'll leave that as an exercise for you to try. And there we have our first problem totally handled. There's only like 10,000 more to go, but whatever. I'll see you guys next time.